Reading, learning, growing, creating, world building, living, thinking, healing, loving, loving, building, writing, while black, black, black. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Writing While Black. We have your co-host here, author Ayoka B. Say hello.
Hello, hello.
And I am Angela, and we are here today with a special, wonderful guest, author Mo, and she has a book out called Triggered. I want to
Yes.
read or sort of riff on the introduction. I saw something on IG where you said who I am as an author. So, Mo is an independent author specializing in gripping erotic thrillers that weave passion, danger, and intrigue into unforgettable stories with a flair for creating complex characters and suspenseful plots. Her goal is to craft tales that captivate and keep her readers on the edge of their seats. So today we're welcoming author Mo. It was the writing, girl. It was the writing.
You read that.
When I saw it, I'm like,
You wrote that.
You wrote that, right? I'm like, this is it. Is there anything, because sometimes we be wanting to edit stuff and change stuff and be like, what? Is there anything you want to add to that or that you feel also needs to be included in your author introduction?
If I can add anything, because I just created a new one. A lot of my writing, my fictional stories, they do have a lot of issues with mental health in it, in a way to entertain as well as inform. So I'm working with a bio with that as well, to shine a light on things that we may not know about or we may misjudge, because that could be your sister, your cousin, and they need their stories to be told in a way, that they may not can't do themselves. So I am working on something like that though, to add that mental health aspect to it.
Okay.
Yeah, because in reading the work and also in listening to your vlog, is it called Healing from Scratch on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am. Healed from
Okay.
scratch.
Oh, healed from scratch on YouTube. I noticed that was definitely a theme, one of the issues that you're passionate about and that your work is about. Okay, so you're like this genre is not my genre.
Okay.
So I want to say that, and one of the things that I love about the podcast is that I get to read things that I would never pick up on my own. Even though when I saw the cover of Triggered, is that your only work right now, Triggered?
I do have, I would consider it a nonfiction. It's about me,
Mm-hmm.
per se, that I wrote my first piece back in 2018. It's called Motivation. But it's like a journal entry format of like my thoughts and my journey. So this is my first fiction.
Okay, okay. Is motivation as in motivation? Oh, it's like a play on your name. Okay, so when I saw the cover, I think it's a beautiful cover, but like the gun on it and all of that, I'd have been like, yeah, no, this probably isn't for me. But I love the chocolate brown hand and the nails, and I was just like, I love this cover. I done got distracted and forgot where I was going. Oh, but I was going to say, this isn't really my style or something that I prefer to read. So, one thing that I really, really appreciated in the writing, because what I tend to do sometimes when it's not for me is I kind of skim or tune out. I have a hard time saying focus, is the way that the story was told from multiple perspectives was something that I really, really enjoyed and appreciated. And it was very helpful for me. By the time the story ended, I actually knew what was going on and cared. The first iteration, I was kind of like, okay. So I wanted to just say that I really appreciated and enjoyed that and ask you about how you decided how you were going to organize the book.
I can't remember the movie. It has Ludacris, Lorenzo Tate, but it was like a few movies that I
Crash.
enjoyed where Crash, come on with it, where they have multiple point of views, but at the end it all kind of linked up. It was another movie called Valentine's Day. I really enjoyed those. And so going into Triggered, I knew I wanted to do that. It just took me a while to construct it. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't easy to kind of put all the pieces together, but going in, I knew that's what I wanted. I knew I at the beginning I wanted 5 books. I wanted a whole that one person's point of view to be an entire piece. It didn't work out that way. Um, but yeah, I got inspired from Crash.
Okay.
So what was your editorial process? Because I think that, as a reader, it worked for me. The layers of information, it was enough overlap, but not too much overlap. I've seen people attempt to do it and not really quite, get there, but for me, it worked. What was your editorial process? You say it was a lot of work. So
Mhm.
how'd you do it?
Well, part one, Danielle, she was the first, and I actually published Triggered in 2020, just part one, because I wanted them to be 5 different stories. It was horrible, y'all. It was horrible. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, so just truly building part one, I had to go to school. I had to get several. I didn't know at the time when I started writing Trigger what a plot was, or how to develop a character, how to develop a plot. So everything was truly a learning experience as I went. Finding those characters' voices, I found them one at a time. Jasmine, then Kevin, then Sigrid. Then I had to go back to Danielle, and just dig and dig. It became like a information dump almost with Danielle. So figuring out how to peel that layer back of the onion and keep the reader engaged. Part one took at least 2.5 years just to make sure that like that character's voice, because you could be confused that she can speak and tell her story. You know what I mean? And keep the reader entertained. You know what I'm saying? So, and once I turned it into my editor, part one was really the the big bang for my bucks, because Danielle is that main character, and truthfully, I have a character that's a narcissist, Sigrid. My character convinced me that the story was about her. So for a long time, I was writing this story to fit a character, to fit Sigrid. Um, so having to go back in that editing process and truly make it fit to that main character, Danielle. It was a long process for sure.
Okay. Excuse me. Have you always wanted to be a writer?
I didn't know I could be a writer.
Mm.
I've always, enjoyed writing poetry, short stories. I used to write love letters to the girls in high school, and write
Long ones.
stories about, yes. I did. I would write like little, like I would write dates, like and scenes of us going to the movies, and the girls in high school really enjoyed it. And then I went to college, a technical college for a few years, and I was doing really well in writing. And I'm like, okay, I can maybe do something with it, but I put it down. I didn't dig into my craft back then, but I had a story that I wanted to tell with motivation. And I'm like, okay, well, this could be something. This could be something.
Okay. And was it the same way with Trigger? Was there a story that you wanted to tell? Did Secret wake you up and say, tell this story, or how did you come to write that book?
Um, Triggered started to be, if I could be completely honest, I was running from an ass whooping. And and I'm driving from my ex-marriage, and the character Danielle came into my mind. And just seeing her, she was beautiful. She was masculine. She had pretty skin, long, beautiful hair, and just allowing myself to get like obsessed with her, it kept me driving. And I felt like Danielle saved my life. And I wanted to just tell her story. Um, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where to start, but I just started writing. And I wrote part one in 7 days in 2020. And I felt like with the tap of the keyboard, like my shoulders were coming up. Like every page that I was completed, like I felt like I was taking back a little bit of me. And that's why I dedicated so much time to it because I'm like, my girls, you saved my life, Danielle, and I really want the world to know who you are.
The one of the things that I really enjoyed about the book was the way that the characters move in the world and the confidence that each of the characters, had in their own way. Whether it was justified or not, I kind of feel like it don't matter whether somebody else think you cute, whether somebody else think you smart. It's like they were just like they were doing their things, and I really appreciated that aspect. And another thing that I found unusual is the age, that like one of the characters was 69, 70.
Yes, ma'am.
And I really appreciated that. Why did you decide was there a decision involved with having Secret in the story, or was it just a given?
When I first wrote Triggered, Sigrid was a minor character. And she was there for just the scene. But when I went back in, this was after I took some writing classes, and I was like, okay, you have to build this story. You have to develop these characters. So the first trigger that I wrote, I just had all my characters out and said, oh, we're gonna have to audition. Now who gonna lead? And that's truly what I did. Y'all dance, come on, let me see what you got. And Sigrid at the time had like this madam personality that could dress, a fashionista. Um, and as I told this, like as I wrote the story, it just made sense for her to be that age, to go back, to start in the 70s from the prologue. It just kind of happened. I just kept writing. I had like the story truly came together over the years with just me writing and just focusing on that character at the time. I brought the plot together in the end. Thank God.
Yeah, you brought it together. I asked because, like, for example, I have a series called The Love by Tamu Tamu Agency, and the main character is 91 and she got married at 71. And I deliberately wanted to explore and think about that aspect of life because I feel like I'm in my 50s, so the world life don't end, and so what's next? Who's next? How are things going to be flowing, or how could things be flowing? So I deliberately, was like, I want to focus on this age. So I'm always in love, or appreciate stories that kind of focus on exploring different people from that age and vantage point. So thank you.
Well, I was kind of scared too because, when you're on like the internet, you hear people talk about age gaps, you know? And so I was kind of scared to put it in there with her being almost 70 and Danielle being 38. That's a really big age gap. And how can I make this believable to the reader where they wouldn't be disgusted or anything like that? So it was a challenge, but I am glad I did it because people are enjoying Secret. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, I think that the internal lives of the characters, it rang true for me because I feel like who you like is who you like. It's no accounting for taste. So, I mean, you just feel how you feel. Earlier, you talked about you worked on it, and then you took it to your editor. How did you find an editor? What has been your relationship with your editor? I just had a conversation with a writer who has a full-on relationship with Chat GPT as their editor. But anyway, I'm
How
just
is that
curious.
working?
Well, the reason that I found out is because the person said I edited myself, and as I'm reading, I'm like, they edited this themselves. Like, I'm just like, because usually there's a relationship involved as artists, as an actor on stage, you need your director. Like, it's a relationship.
Yes,
So I'm
yes.
like, how do you do that yourself? And it was so well edited. So when I asked, that's what he said he took it in, I think paragraph by paragraph and read the suggestions. And, I was all of that world is just like I'm still wrapping my head around all of that. But that's over there. So let's talk about you. You have a real life editor, like a human
Yes,
being.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Let's
ma'am.
let's let's hear about your editor and your process, your experience.
My editor, she owns a company called Edits with Victoria Scott. I met her through a company that I was working with. Um, I really enjoyed the editing process because before with Motivation, I went through Book Baby. So I didn't get to talk to my editor that you submit it and then, they give you their notes and then that's it. So for me, this editing process to be able to email her back and forth, I had 9,000 comments on Trigger. So I saw where she was confused. I saw where she was laughing. I saw where, I needed this or she had questions. And truly, with the editing process, with her asking me those questions, I was able to dial into what the story needed to be about. After 4 years of writing, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I really didn't know what the story was about. I didn't. I was just writing. Yes, ma'am. So shout out to Tori. If I can show Tori some love, shout out to you, Tori, because with her editing style, I went through 4 rounds. Again, like I was able to dial in on what I needed to do. Um, and she truly helped me understand that the main character was Danielle. Because remember, I was stuck on Secret and I was building the story for Secret, but she was like, it's not Secret story. It's not.
No,
Pretty
that's
good
great that
ensemble
you.
cast. Oh,
No, I just said it's great to have a great relationship with your editor because they,
hmm
really challenge you and can make your writing better. And they're not afraid to say what needs to be said. And it just takes a
Hmm.
lot of trust and, back and forth. And sometimes you might disagree, but, you know, it's about the end product, right?
Well, and you know what, y'all? I was very skeptical at first because Tori is a white woman, right? And just with the story that I have, there are a lot of metaphors that if you didn't grow up in this culture, that you may not understand, or the dialect or the dialogue that I had, and some of the verbiage that they were using that she wouldn't understand. And oh my God, she blew my mind. She blew my mind. Shout out to you, Tori.
Okay.
And then I'm going to turn it over to you, Ioka. But one more thing that I wanted to explore with you, Mo, is this idea of I put Trigger out and it was terrible. And I really had to go and, take classes and work and, the first version of Trigger. So
Yes, ma'am.
what what motivated you to not just rest on, this is it, this is my book, y'all buy this book, and to what motivated you to want to improve, and what was that process like?
When I first released Triggered, I purchased 100 copies. I didn't get a distribution deal or anything like that. I sent out 50 copies and I strategically sent them to people in different states. And I just wanted feedback. I just wanted people to read the story and to meet Danielle, and nobody said nothing. When I put out Motivation, I was seeing the praises and people posing with the book. I just read this, y'all go get this. Like everybody loved it and everybody enjoyed the story. But with Triggered, it was crickets, right? And so I put it down. I had maybe like 40 copies in the garage just sitting there. And then I met my fiance, Amanda, who is in the educational field, a literacy, I call her like a literacy guru. Low key my editor in chief, but she did not edit Trigger. Shout out to Tori. She was the first one to tell me. She DNF'd it after page one, second paragraph. And she told me, she was like, this isn't good. And I said, okay. I was angry a little bit. She said, when was the last time you read a book? And I said, probably in high school, Amanda. Like I love self-help books, but like I haven't truly jumped into a fictional story. And she was like, one, I need you to read a book. Okay. And then I'm going to buy you a book. And she bought me James Scott Bell, Just Right. I want you to read that book, take notes, and then we're going to put you into a writing class. And she was like, you are a phenomenal storyteller, but you're just not a good writer. However, for you, people can be good writers. She said, I'm a good writer. I just don't like to tell stories. So you have something that I don't, but we can teach you how to be a writer. We can't teach people how to tell a good story. And we went through those steps. I went to those classes, and I truly just wanted Triggered to be what I imagined it to be. I didn't want to fall short. So,
Congratulations. It's hard in the same way I think we were talking before we got on camera, being vulnerable. And there's something, receiving feedback and being able to like use it requires a vulnerability that can be challenging. Like you say, my feelings were hurt. Sometimes we get pissed off and, we don't want to hear that shit. But,
Right.
it's good to be able to grow and develop into, and that vulnerability, that openness shows up in the work as well as, as the work continues to improve, but the story as well, the characters, it's real because that's real.
So I want to give you the opportunity to tell us about the Heal from Scratch movement that you started and the Heal from Scratch LLC, because I know
yes,
that
sir.
that is very important in driving a lot of the work that you're doing, including your YouTube channel.
Heal from Scratch wasn't a concept and an idea that I thought of when I was in treatment.
Mhm.
Um, I checked myself into a mental health hospital, and I just enjoyed the way that they carried me, the way that they treated me. Um, I was very skeptical at first. I'm like, I'm too good for this. I don't need to be here. But then I just saw the work that it was doing with people. And I've always wanted to give. I'm a giver. I want to pour into people. Um, and so just being in there, I came up with Healed from Scratch because I knew that I needed to heal from scratch. And I came to the conclusion that, like, instead of trying to save everybody else, save yourself first, share that story, share that journey, and then whatever comes from that, it'll be brought to you.
Okay. Okay. And so the vlog that you're doing, that you just started that like a month ago, right?
Yes, ma'am.
I really really enjoyed that. Please watch, subscribe, all the things, because Mo is helping us, y'all. She's being vulnerable. She's talking about her journey, and there are a lot of people who don't have the courage to do that, and will see that, and it'll give them the courage to do it. Because I was like, that damn Mo, oh,
I,
she digging all in my spirit. But I really, really enjoyed it. I'm subscribed. I'm like, I'm watching all of this. I want it as soon as they come out.
And
So thank you for that.
I just want to add too, and this is not as, touchy feely, but I really enjoyed that the episodes were short. Like,
Yeah,
it didn't feel like
they are. They're
I had to
short.
make a big commitment and I got a big outcome from it. I
Yeah,
put a little bit of time in and I got so much out of it. So thank you,
right.
yeah, for sharing.
I was like, she's probably strategic with that. She giving you short pieces that people will watch and they'll keep tuning in. And I just felt like people need to see this journey, because especially it's still in our community, we still not talking about mental health the way we need to. And especially in our community, we the ones that need it. Like
yes, yes,
it can't be taboo no more. Like enough with that. Like all of us need to go talk to somebody, because the things
It's
be
that
coming,
crucial.
yeah, the things be coming at us all the time from birth. I mean, that stuff
From before
build out.
birth,
yes,
because that's what I was gonna say. As Black folks, we
Well,
got the
yeah,
stuff that come to us from
yes,
birth, the stuff
yes,
from our parents. We
yeah,
see the
the
generational
ancestral,
conversation,
yeah,
the
yes,
ancestral stuff.
Yeah.
unhealed, unaddressed. It's
Right.
just like
And we don't know about it. We
Right.
we
don't know
don't,
about it.
but
We
we
don't talk
feel
about
it
it.
and it's shaping us. It's
Right.
pushing us and it's driving us and
Right.
it's stressing us the hell out. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And we
Yeah.
just
Yes.
under so much GD pressure.
Right.
It's, we need, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love that aspect of the story as well. Just the generation, like seeing how people got to where they are.
Yeah. That generational trauma is real.
Well,
And
I wanted to do a cookbook that was the idea. I created a cookbook actually, and I had a 6 weeks when I had recipes in it. It was finished, but when I did it, it didn't help me at all. It wasn't centered. Like I didn't have the motivation to complete the recipes. So that's when I got to the vlog and said, you know what, we're gonna have to do this from scratch. We're truly gonna have to build these recipes from scratch. And I don't have like a theme or so far I'm just truly just healing. And it's just writing itself, honestly.
I mean, it needs to be genuine. It needs to be whatever you're feeling at the moment, expressing it, because a recipe, I mean, it may not work for you. It may not,
Yes,
just
ma'am.
because you write down the recipe, a lot of times you got the freestyle on that thing. It's not a one size fit all, you know what
It
I'm
didn't
saying?
taste good at all, y'all.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You just gotta, whatever's going on in that day, in that moment, you know, like what I know what I can't remember. I just forgot what I was going to say. But one of the support groups, they say one day at a time.
One day at a time, and
Yeah.
and yeah, and AA and
Yeah.
NA and a lot of the
Yes.
A's.
Okay. But yeah, I mean that's real. You can't worry about, next week, sometimes not the next day. You got to deal
It's
with what's
1 minute
going
at a
on
time,
right
girl.
this
Yes,
moment.
Sometimes 30
yes,
In the
seconds.
moment.
right. One breath, just stay right here,
Yes.
right
Right.
now.
Right.
So, mhm.
Right. Okay. Can you give us Danielle? Danielle is the female main character in Trigger. Can you give us Danielle in 3 words?
Ambitious, beautiful, savage.
All right, you did it. That's what I'm talking about. You better know your character, Mo.
I could have said a little more, but I'm like, okay, I think that was good.
I think so too. And can I just say, I I won't go into it. We talked a little bit off camera, but I don't have a phone right now. And my passwords are in there and I'm just working through it. So Amazon would not allow me to buy the book because it wanted my password. Even though I went through the email and all of that to you know to redo my password, it wouldn't let. So I was like, listen, I need a sample of something. So I
I want to
read.
send you a copy,
No,
a
no, no.
signed copy.
I'm not asking for that. I'm going to get it myself because I be about the indie writers. However, I read the prologue and the first 2 chapters, and I am so excited for you, Mo. I know we talked when you were reworking everything. This has been, I guess, about 2 years ago. And so I'm so excited for you because your storytelling, you did it, girl. You did the work and it's popping, y'all. It's popping. Y'all need to get this story right here. Triggered is doing it. You did fabulously on the pop quiz about Danielle. So now I'm going to ask you to give us the elevator pitch for Triggered.
Triggered is a story about a young lady striving to find herself, striving to find her place in the world. And she's willing to go through leaps and bounds and take you out to get it, to know her truth, to know where she came from, and to know where she's going. Um, Danielle Jones is a savage. She's a beautiful individual, that's going to carry you in this story of self love, revenge, deceit, and keep you on the edge of your seats.
All right. Yes.
You
I mean
know,
that.
I'm gonna tell you, writing the synopsis for Triggered was harder than writing the actual novel.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah, the synopsis and the blurb that take you out because I don't like the one that I put on my book. I done redone that a million times and I use something else. But at the time,
Really?
you know, that's what it was. But it's okay. But
It
yours,
comes off as gibberish as when people ask, like, what's your book about? It has a lot going on. That's funny.
no, but what you just said was perfect.
Right. I think
You
you
gave us
captured it.
enough to be like, oh, I need to get that. To hook us. That's what you did. You teased us and you hooked us. That's what you need to do. Okay. All right. I did want to mention I wanted to read a little bit about Heal from Scratch LLC, if I may.
Okay. Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
Mo is the founder of Heal from Scratch LLC, a movement dedicated to healing through storytelling, fitness, and self love. A survivor of childhood trauma and mental health struggles, she writes with raw honesty and compassion, creating books that both entertain and empower. And then I talked about you being the author of Motivation and Trigger. So um I think you said it simply and plainly and beautifully there. I know earlier you talked about you were working on recrafting your bio. Um, that that to me is like the perfect setup for um, getting people to tune in for the vlog, getting people to read Triggered. Um, we were talking about mental health in our community, and I'm glad that more people are willing to talk about it and explore it in their writing. Um, I did a what do you call it? I was a beta reader for a young woman that I met maybe a year and a half ago, and I read her first book. Her first book is A Month of Sundays, and this second one, she is given the backstory of one of the secondary characters that was in her first one, but this woman really has some mental health struggles. I mean, seriously, she dives way into it and just her journey. And so I'm very glad, as with you with your FMC, not only being on her journey, but people always telling her, the person she loves telling her that she's crazy all the time. I don't want to give too much out, but you know that having the support system that you need when you are struggling is vital. And a lot of times
Yes.
we do not have that, which is why the struggles perpetuate and don't get addressed because, you
Yes,
know,
ma'am.
we got people not hearing us or not seeing us, or well, both. So I just want to say that.
I do think too that like the lack of education on some of it, like how growing up, how movies may have portrayed what bipolar, you automatically think just this lunatic per se that's just wild, and that's not necessarily what that is about. So as a writer, I just want to tell stories where I can bring a different light to it. Because, somebody may have a struggle, but, they can be successful in that struggle, you know?
Right. Right.
We all have struggles. Oh, I just want to say that one of the powerful aspects of writing is that we can get inside of people in a way that it's difficult to get into people in other forms of art. So in terms of understanding what's what mental health issues people are dealing with, and I feel
Yes.
like every Black person, I not in a pejorative way, but I'm crazy. We all crazy in some way. We're all dealing with stuff. We're all working
Yes.
through stuff. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of mess and confusion. And so
Where we
in a
come
book,
from.
where we come from and what we've been exposed to, and layers of violence and violation and rape and trauma and all
Yes.
kinds of stuff. Yeah, so in a book you can really get at it in a way that you can't really get at it in a movie or a play, or you can't but not in the same way. So it's a perfect venue for an exploration of that topic.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
And I also think, piggybacking on that, you are able to show the person's humanity and show that they are an everyday person who is just fighting this battle, whatever the battle is. And this is a segue into a question that I didn't write down, but it's coming back to me, that I used to ask people. Do you believe, as a writer, especially as a Black writer, that you have some level of responsibility that it for your writing or for your audience? I don't know if I'm asking that well. Or do you, or maybe it's more, are you giving yourself a responsibility um, that you want to share in your writing?
Absolutely. As a Black writer, or to write Black characters, there's a responsibility to represent us properly. And then to have that mental health aspect, to want to represent whoever may have that properly, to do them justice. There's a big responsibility on me with my research, um, where I can just portray it in not a way where you say, where you can see the actual human behind the story, in the story, the woman, see them for who they are, see that character for who they are, and not judge them. So definitely, I never want to misrepresent me, because ultimately this is me,
Right,
triggered as a spawn, as a product of me and my trauma and my healing and my journey.
right.
I want
Okay.
to ask you, I'm sorry. So at the end of the book, and I wondered if I felt like I was being set up for a part two, but so I wanted to ask you about kind of what's next. Is there more in the world of Triggered, and what are you working on?
Trigger took a lot out of me, and I did set it up that way. Honestly, I have to ask, because this is my first fiction, you guys, and I have to learn how to decompress from a story, and I'm in that process of decompressing from it, to build something. And I would love to write a romance novel. Honestly, I'm a romance girly, and these thriller streets are tough. It's tough out here in these thriller streets. um, so there could be. I'll say that there could be, but I feel like I wanted to do it with Trigger, where if I did go, that's good, but I left you with enough that, like, you can be okay with it being a standalone. But also, if I do need, I left the window cracked, you know, just
Right,
in case.
right. You mentioned earlier that you have written poetry. Will there be any poetry books coming from Mo, perhaps?
Yes, ma'am. I do have something I want to do. Um, I don't know. Again, with that responsibility of a poet, right? To make sure that I represent that part of the craft properly. It's a lot of work that goes into it. Um, I do have something. I want. Can I say the title? I have the title. I don't want
Yes,
anybody to.
please. Yes.
It's songs from a cage of a narcissist, and I don't know. I'm just playing on that title. I'm a title girl. I often have to build from the title, to kind of like I can't really truly get on the road driving unless I have that title, you know. But I do. I can see a poetry book coming. It's not right now in the forefront, but definitely yes.
Okay. All righty. Are you reading anything right now?
Triggered.
Okay.
Tri- On my reading wrap up, my yearly wrap up, I think I've read Triggered at least 80 times this year.
Okay.
Yes, I think I've read it 80 times. That's what I'm currently reading now. Um, yes, honestly. And I feel like I do have some writing books I want to jump into, but I do think I maybe need a love story. Um, and there's several that's out there, that is on my TBR. I just purchased a Sister Soldier. I really like Sister Soldier. I just purchased her, Midnight. And then like,
Ah,
Love After Midnight. I really want to try that,
yeah,
just for some fresh air, you know?
yeah. I don't know where, that's so crazy. I don't know where my Sister Soldier books are. I read those when I was, I don't know. I can't even remember. I guess I was about 19 or 20. I don't know, somewhere in there. And I don't know what happened to those books because I would love to read them now versus, back then when I ain't know shit.
They hit different now.
That's what I'm saying. I might have to just get them over again. But at the time I was the age of oh, I can't remember her name. What was the FMC's name?
Winter
Winter, the
and
coldest winter
this one.
ever.
Yes,
Duh,
ma'am.
yeah. Winter. I was, the age she was. So, the world looked, what she was writing, I was probably like, yeah. But she was wild. I can remember that. And then, but I remember Midnight. Midnight left an impression on me.
Yes, he did. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie. He
yeah.
did.
Hmm.
So you read Triggered 80 times this year. Is that what you said? 80, like almost 100.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh Lord.
Okay. Okay, my husband goes over his work like that a lot. I don't know. I don't think he's quite as intense as you are, but I don't I don't so when you're reading it, are you critiquing it? Are you trying to experience the story as different people? What are you what's happening as you're reading it each well, I'm sure each time it's different, but 80 times.
Yes, ma'am. Coming into this year, the product that I have now was not what I walked into this year with. The prologue was chapter 7. Chapter 7 was chapter 1. Different things at the time. Again, I was writing up to secret. So just having to reread and during this editing process, I didn't use Chat GPT, but I tried to edit it myself with Grammarly. Um, and it didn't go well, but it sounded good to me, but just reading it over and over because I was trying to save some money because everybody was like $1,000 here, $1,000 there, 2,000, 12, depending on what you have. And so me reading it so much was truly just to figure out how can I get to this conclusion? And it sounded so good. And then I'll edit it and I'll read over it. I'll edit it again. And then when I got my editor, now I'm going back into it. It's been about 80 times and submitting it to different people.
Hmm. I think, and I think I'm working on my first novel, Love Soiree. I have nonfiction out, but I think that that's one of the challenges. I don't want to read it. I'll write on it, but I just like, and Ayoka, I've heard you talk about like you know, you're reading it again and it's like, I don't know. Maybe I need to get some distance from it. I said to Iyapa, I'm gonna put it down for a year and then come back to it fresh, and then I can see what it needs, what's missing, because I'm like, I'm too into it, and it just,
A
I
year?
probably need to. Right, that's what he said. A year.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's a
I
long
don't know,
time.
but I just feel like it's when I'm reading it, it's like I can't get the distance I need to understand what it needs. And probably if I read it through 80 times, I would I would have that
Well,
information, but
with doing that though, I found out that like I knew what I wanted to say, so I'm skipping over stuff. Like, cause you know what you want to portray in this scene. So that wasn't good. I should have put it down. I should have did what you did.
Because when in these 80 times when you're explaining it, it sounds like that was before you released it, before you
Hmm.
published it, not since have you read it since you published it?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Why? That's the good part, Mo. That's the
No, I
good
haven't.
part.
Well, when I got my proofs back, there were things that were wrong,
Right,
that I had to make some changes with.
right.
And then I got another book and it looks better. I still see things that I want to change. So I hit unpublish on it again. So when I just want to sit on my sofa, cozy with a blanket, and hold the paper. I could not read the ebook. I couldn't. I wanted to hold triggered in my hand.
we see your baby behind you. I just noticed her all of a sudden. Like, I'm
In the
like, you want to
background,
hold her
right.
and stroke her and rub her or something?
Yes, ma'am.
So
I
wait,
haven't though.
you okay. Let me be clear. So you said you hit unpublish.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you do that?
Yesterday.
I totally understand.
So
I
right now,
understand.
so right now, I can't buy it.
No, ma'am.
Oh Lord. Okay. So okay. Let me just say this to you, Mo. Let me say this to you, Mo. And I'm not the end all be all by any means. But as a writer, you are always going to find something that you want to change. Always. Do not
Yes,
get
ma'am.
caught up in that spiral, or because you'll start doubting yourself and you'll never hit the publish button again. There are things that I want to change about Love at Second Sight. Trust and believe. I made a change once. After I published it, maybe 6 weeks into it, I made a few changes and that was it. I said I'm leaving it alone now because it's always going to be stuff. Like
It's
I I I was impressed. There was, I can't remember which guest it was, but and Angela might remember who it was that said that they took their book and went through the exercise of rewriting it. And I did say one day I was going to do that. It was Tracy Darity. I did say one day I'm going to do that. I won't republish it, but just as an exercise for myself, I'm going to take Love at Second Sight and I'm going to rewrite it the way, with all but that's just an exercise for me as a writer. um I'm on to Mike's story now, and
And
then I
that's my
got
man.
I know.
I'm sorry. Mike is my man.
I know you team Mike hard. I know. he, I remember Mo made a video on TikTok and she was like, I just want him to get it together. He done made me so mad. But then she came back and she was like, but Shane, I'm that's when she had finished the book. She was like, Shane did what she needed to do.
Yeah.
But she was just like Danielle. I mean, not just like her, but she was on a journey, a self-love journey, and we got to make hard decisions, and sometimes it takes some violence,
Yes, ma'am.
to get us where we need to be. But I'm just saying, as a writer, go ahead and get you a blanket and
Yes,
read
ma'am.
it. If
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
gonna make changes, make changes, but go ahead and give yourself a deadline, and then go ahead, make those edits and push that publish button. Getting us
I
all excited and now
uh-uh.
pumping the brakes.
I feel like gone and read whatever, publish the book because it's good. It is an excellent first book. It's way better than most. And don't be on this side. Go be on the side of published. Don't be on the side of trying to be a perfect. Don't just. It's good. I
Don't
just
wait a
read it.
year. Don't
It's
do a year like
don't even
Angela's talking.
don't even unpublish it. It's already published. We
It's
promoting the book
published.
right now. We need to be
Yeah.
able to buy it. We got it's good. It's good. It's
Let
we
me
not do
say this. This episode is going to publish on Wednesday.
Okay. It'll
We
be
gonna
ready by
need
then.
that. We gonna need that book to be available, Monichia. I'm gonna call you by your government name now. Come on now.
Yes, but it'll be ready by like truly. And it wasn't. It was just beauty, just cosmic stuff, right?
hmm
Um, that I just noticed, like with um, like the page numbers, like where you have part one, part two, part three. It has page numbers on that. I'm like, oh, I don't like that, and that's just an easy fix. Things like
That's
that.
we don't hit unpublished for that, Monichia. Come on now.
I
Yeah,
did,
because you can
but I didn't
upload
want.
edits. You can upload
Right,
edits. You
right,
don't even have, and then the actual version is sitting there, and then when you edit it, it updates it.
right. You ain't. Come on now.
You should see
And
the way y'all looking at me, y'all. It's my first. It's my first one, and I don't know. There is a little bit of anxiety in those those nerves
yes,
of just
yes,
wanting it to be right.
yes.
And you mentioned earlier the responsibility. Um, Coming into this, I had no idea what the book world was. But now with doing the research, the respect that I have for writers and the craft itself, I wanted to make sure that certain, blemish marks weren't there and that, I truly dotted my I's and crossed my T's.
Okay, so that
I
means
had
we can hit the button.
I had a mentor who was a visual artist, and he said, and he had all kinds of stuff that was sold all over the world. He was Baba Ibn, Ori Pitts, but he said I have never finished a piece. I just stopped working on it, and sometimes he stopped working on it when it's a show, and but as artists, maybe, but it's time to it's we got the paper copy back. It's time,
We gotta let
girl.
that baby fly.
Yep. Let that baby, and she's a beautiful baby,
And truly the
and
only thing I just got to change the page numbers. And you right, you guys right. And I don't know why I hit unpublished. I just, I don't know why. I did though. I
You
sometimes
did.
these
got
people on these internet streets, I don't know. You talk about your girl is a savage. I don't really think Danielle is savage. I wouldn't use that, but some of these people on these internet streets are savages, and they act like they don't have any. It's a beautiful work, and I hope you staying around people who have some sense and can appreciate an artist, because you're an artist, so yeah.
yeah, yes.
Thank
And let
you.
me just say, your latest, I think, post, I think on IG, the joy that you had when you looked at that book, that don't you want to feel that? Come on, lean into that.
Yes,
Lean into
ma'am.
that. Don't listen
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
imposter syndrome telling you it's not good enough. Feel that joy
You better say that.
and that
Say
pride.
that.
Feel that. You better publish that book, girl. Stop playing up in here. We need Danielle in this
The ebook
literary
is still
world.
out there. It'll be ready when this drop. The ebook is still out there. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Do you have interviews scheduled after us?
No, ma'am, I don't have anything. Um,
Oh,
I cleared my schedule. I didn't know what to expect, y'all, or anything.
oh Lord. Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay,
No, I
we
mean,
popped your cherry.
but
Yes.
are you
You the second virgin we didn't had. I'm excited.
Yeah.
are you going on other podcasts? Like, do you have other things scheduled?
I've been looking, um, and I've been reaching out. I'm just waiting for responses,
Okay.
honestly.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. All right. All right. So I want to ask you a question. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
What is writing while black to you?
Writing while black to me is writing from a certain culture that people may not understand. A certain beauty, a certain elegance, a certain rawness. Um, Writing while black is love and appreciation of self. Writing while black is allowing my voice to be told through others, to tell the story of people that look like me.
All right. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Is there anything else, Mo, that you wanted to share, or do you have a mailing list? I couldn't find a website or mailing list. Is that stuff you're working on?
Yes, ma'am. I'm working
Okay.
on everything. I'm working on everything. And I
Yeah.
went in ahead and published. Truly, I had dates lined up. Originally, it was supposed to be October the 21st. But I told myself, like, if you don't do this, you're never going to do it. Like, you can keep planning. I'm having schedules for content ideas, and I just waiting for everything to be perfect. But I said, just put the ebook out there, you
So,
know?
do you have stuff scheduled for the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th of this month?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
You understand why I'm asking you that question, right?
You tell me. I want to make sure I'm
Okay,
with you.
okay. So wait a second. Maybe I might have to get the copy of the book.
No.
Aren't those the days that we go
Yes,
over?
ma'am.
So
And
those are
so,
your
well, and that's why, and that was a part of the original schedule with it, with my content. In my mind, I was like, I've been inspired with Cardi B's rollout and even Clips. They just released their album. And I was just like, I can do that with the Halloween, and October is a special month for me, for sure. But it's just with the way life has been lifing. I'm not gonna lie, ladies. I just put it out there, and I told myself a couple of days ago, when you make the video, post it, because I'm sitting on videos. I'm truly sitting on videos. I'm like, I'll post this one on the 21st, the 22nd, to lead up into this story.
Right.
But I'm like, no, you just need to post it and stop. And that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
so do that. Keep posting, keep sharing. Because you got
When
it.
is Mental Health Awareness Month? I thought it was
It's
October.
it's October, March. It depends. Certain different things fall in different months. October, March.
Okay. Okay.
Is there anything else that you wanted to share that we have not delved into or asked you about?
Not at the moment, but in an hour I'll think about it and be like, dang.
Make a video and post it. When you think
Okay.
about it, make a video and be like, what I did say is.
Yeah, no, that's good content. I've done that before. I couldn't answer a question on a podcast, and then I did it. I made it a video and posted it later and tagged the podcaster.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Well, this
Uh,
was great. I'm so glad
I feel
that
like
you
I'm a,
came
oh, go
on.
ahead.
No,
I
I'm
feel,
just glad you came on here.
I feel like
I'm glad.
I'm a fangirl, and you said earlier, oh, I feel like we just kicking it. And I'm like, oh, I got to hang out with Mom. I'm so excited because I loved your book.
Thank you. And first off, to hear, it means a lot to hear hear someone say, like, this is not my cup of tea, right? But for you, I'm gonna make this a cup of coffee, and I enjoyed it. But I'm gonna go back to my tea. But the coffee was good. I appreciate that. I appreciate you riding with me, with Danielle. And I'm so glad you enjoyed that. You gave me a shot. That means the most. I think you caught me off guard, and it just threw me.
The book, boom. You like, what kind of interview is this gonna be? But I
Y'all are
love
spot on.
people. I love people. So every book is like, it's somebody's heart, it's somebody's offering. So there's something, I feel like there's something to love in every book, as far as I'm concerned. Just like there's something to love in every person. But there were so many things that I really, really appreciated about the work Triggered. Like I thought, I feel like well done, and keep up the good work. I want to read the next, the continuation, because I'm like, is it gonna go the way I think it's
No,
gonna go?
no
Is it gonna go
pressure.
another way?
Well,
Whenever it's ready.
well, that was the thing. I wanted to see the responses. You know, like if there was like a nice response when I did start pushing it out there. I want to see what the readers like, if they want to hear and see how Danielle continues the journey.
Okay.
You want
I Danielle, I'll write with Danielle. I want, and it's good, even if it's because since it's not my genre, I'll come back when you get ready. No pressure, like Ayoka said. But I'll check her
my
out,
next
see
one
what
won't
she up
take
to.
5 years. It
Yeah,
won't take 5 years for the next one.
Well, you know the characters now,
Yes.
and you know where they're going. So yeah,
Yes, ma'am. And they sit with me. They sit with me.
I know that feeling. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we got to sign this
Ayoka
thing
asked
off.
me, "Oh, you about to do a writer sprint? You about to write? What's going on?" So I don't know. I am thinking about doing writer sprints on recording day. But for today, if everybody want to get their pens out, or the people in the viewing audience and the listening audience, pens out, fist up, right on,
Right
right
on.
on.
Right on.
Peace. Thanks for joining us on another episode of Writing While Black. Peace out.
Reading, learning, growing, creating, while building, living, thinking, healing, loving, building, writing while black, black, black.